Hey guys, what's up? Nick here once again, and today on Do You Remember, we're checking out FLATOUT for PS2. Now this is actually running on PC at the moment, and I'm not using an emulator. This is the PC variant, so graphically it's actually going to look a little bit better than what you might remember from the PS2 days, but essentially it's the exact same game. To my knowledge, I don't know if there's any major differences from the PC to the PS2 version, other than the controls. For the life of me, I cannot get my controller to connect to this game or work properly in the slightest, so I have to use my keyboard, and I don't know about you guys, but I am horrible when it comes to keyboard and mouse with racing games. So I'm just going to jump into a single match here just to give you guys some example of the gameplay, but please, please, please don't judge my racing capabilities because, again, my keyboard and mouse skills are not the best when it comes to racing. So the first FLATOUT game was pretty much a pioneer, in my opinion, with the derby slash racing genre that we know today. It's actually made by the same guys that made Wreckfest. If you guys have played that game before, it's one of my favorite racing games of all time. Absolute gem of a racing slash derby game. And it's by Bugbear Entertainment, which also made the first FLATOUT and FLATOUT 2. I don't know if they made FLATOUT Ultimate Destruction or Ultimate Carnage, whatever it was called, but that actually is my favorite of the three because it's kind of just like a remake of FLATOUT 2 on PC, and it just kind of adds everything that was great about FLATOUT 2, made it better, new game modes, better graphics, all that stuff. But anyway, this is for FLATOUT 1, and the main shtick for this game was that you could fly out the windshield if you crashed hard enough. But I gotta say, FLATOUT 1 is probably my least favorite out of the first three games. Mainly just because of the fact that no matter what you do, you fly out of your vehicle. Like, it is so easy to do. It becomes quite annoying and frustrating during races. But the funny thing is, your car can actually never get destroyed. Whereas every FLATOUT from this point on, you can get so destroyed or you can wreck so many times, then your car will stop working and you'll be DNF, aka do not finish the race, and you have to restart. They did not do this in the first game, so you can completely dismantle your car and it'll still drive to the very end, which is kind of funny. But I'm just going to choose a random car. We're going to go into bonus, or the bronze mode, I should say. And I haven't unlocked anything yet because I have not played this on PC in years, so I lost my original save. But we're just going to go into one of the first races here. Turn it down just a little bit so you guys will be able to hear me over the sound of the game. So it's obviously stretched as well. Like, this game was not meant to be on a widescreen monitor. So the cars look very cartoonish, very wide, thickum boys, if you will. But yeah, I think overall, though, the game still holds up graphically. Even playing this on PS2, I played it not too long ago, and it still holds up graphically and just performance-wise. This game ran really well, even on the original hardware. I remember not seeing many graphical stutters or, like, you know, frame drops or anything like that, even with a lot of stuff happening on screen. And essentially, this is an arcade racer through and through, so you're going to have some, like, kind of floaty controls. It's not going to be super realistic with, like, shifting and using manual stuff like that. It's one of those racing games where you got nitro, and you try to smash your opponents off the trail to get to first place, which, in my opinion, are the best kind of racing games. So let's try using some nitro here. It actually does make a pretty big difference in this game. In the later entries, I don't even think... No, they do have nitro. Never mind. I'll try to think if they had nitro in the later entries. They do, but from what I remember, it doesn't make much of a difference during the race. Where in this game, man, you can really feel when you're using the nitro. Like, I like that effect. Man, it's clean. That's a nice effect for nitro. But the only thing I will say is I wish there was a little bit of a visual indicator, like the fire coming out of the back, like you get in FLATOUT 2. That'd be pretty dope. But otherwise, I do like the feeling of the nitro in this game. And every map has little shortcuts here and there integrated. Like, there was one I just missed there. That's actually a little bit of a jump. And I think the other big selling point for FLATOUT, other than just the fact you can fly out of your windshield, was the destruction physics. I think for the time, this game was pretty impressive. Whatever engine they made or built for this game, it still holds up, again, to this day. The fact that I think this came out in, like, 2005 era, it's something around there. I don't know the exact date, but the fact that this game came out pretty much over, like, 20 years ago almost at this point is insane to me. that it still looks this good to this day. Surprisingly, we're doing pretty good, even though, again, I'm using keyboard and mouse. Let's see if we can go up this jump without dying. Nice, clean jump. That felt good. And it doesn't seem like this game suffers from the same catch-up AI as FLATOUT 2 does. From what I remember, FLATOUT 2 and even in Ultimate Carnage, both of those games, the AI is relentless. Like, if you're in first place, you're not going to stay in first place for long. Because the AI gets so much catch-up that they're right behind you almost the entire race, no matter what. Which can be both a good and bad thing. In this situation, I kind of wish the AI was a little bit smarter, because as you can see, I'm pretty much destroying them. The only way I could lose this race is if I make a big mess up and run into a wall or something, but look at some of the physics here just for fun. You can see you get some nitro for crashing into stuff, so the game is rewarding the player for doing some destruction, and also I think you get boost for like running into opponents and stuff like that and making them crash is pretty fun. But as an example, because I don't care about winning, if I run into a wall, you can go into slow motion. It looks really jaggedy, but there's your ragdoll character, which, by the way, the ragdoll physics are amazing. I love the ragdoll physics, but that was the whole shtick with this game is, well, if you crash, your dude flies out the windshield. It's hilarious. Look at him go. There isn't any blood or anything, so it's not meant to be gory. It's meant to be silly. But it just happens so frequently. Like, you can just basically touch a wall and fly out the windshield in this game that it just becomes a huge hassle. They did thankfully work on this and fix it in the later entries in the game, in the game series, but it is a shame with this one. It does kind of suffer from it. Oh, I forgot this game ended with replays, which is nice. So you can always look at your recent race and show it to your friends and all that fun stuff. All right, so that was a race. Let's check out the bonus section. And this was what I remember the most as a kid having all the fun in. And this is kind of where the game also became really like a cult classic to a lot of people, was for these stunts or like the bonus section. And in FLATOUT 2, they went above and beyond this to make it even more grander scale with more mini games. And it's all about just basically hurting the dude, like sending him flying out of his windshield to do different things. I don't have them unlocked at the moment, but you can see you can eventually do darts with him. You can throw him into some bowling pins, a bullseye board like curling, and then you have, I guess, cutout game. You throw them into different hoops for different scores. But we do have long jump and high jump, which high jump was the one I used to I loved. So let's give this one a try and see what this looks like this day. High jump. Accelerate and throw your driver high in the air from the ramp by pressing and releasing the nitro button. The release angle of the driver is measured from the time you keep the nitro button pressed down before the release. The total height of all 3 runs is added together. All right, cool. So we're just basically driving forward, and we're going to launch our guy, which I don't know which button I have to use to launch my dude. I'm going to hope it's enter, possibly. Let's see. Nope. Shit. Q. I don't know which button it is. I'm just going to sit here until I can figure out how to launch my dude. Q. Oh, it's the turbo button. Okay. Perfect. So we're basically trying to throw him as high as we can go. So let's see if we can do it this time. All right, buddy. Time to fly. Slow motion. Oh, looks like we're going to get 72.23. Not bad. Not bad. Oh, he missed the net. Oh, that man is dead. My man is fucking dead. All right, new high score, 72.23. So that is essentially the high jump. Again, it's very like archaic in this first game. There's really not a whole lot to it. It's bare bones to the 10th degree, but it's still a blast to come back to and just remember the times and the memories I had as a kid. And what's so funny to me is it ended up being the main part of the game for me. I never even did the racing events because the racing became second place to the mini games. And I don't think that was the intention of the developers, but it just ended up going that way. Let's try the long jump just to see what this one's like. You can see all the other mini games in the background, which is kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of the level from Stuntman, if you guys have ever played that game. Might be another one I'll showcase on this channel. All right, here we go. Oh, I didn't realize the... Okay. I thought the car was... I don't know why. I thought I was going to go in slow motion when I started launching my guy. Okay, second time's a charm. I've learned my lesson. Yeah. Oh. Oh, so it doesn't count it by sliding. You have to, it's where you land. Got it. Try one more time. All the way, yeah! Oh, wow, that was terrible. What the hell? I got the bar all the way up and I went less distance? God damn. And then on top of the mini games, we also had some fun like mini game events, I suppose. One of them is the Destruction Derby, or the Demolition Dash is what they call it. But yeah, it's basically Destruction Derby just on the PS2. If you guys played the original Destruction Derby on PS1, you'll fit right at home here. And then we have some of my favorite events, which are these Mud Bowl events, which basically are a regular race, but they're essentially set up to make you crash into your opponents and go flying onto your vehicle. Let's check out the Demolition Derby and see how this goes. Destruction Derby. You can only win the derby by destroying all the other cars. Your reward depends on the amount of time that you spend on destroying all the other cars. The longer it takes, the smaller the reward. Your nitro meter indicates the damage your car receives. You lose if the damage reaches the top of the meter. Alright, so then instead of nitro, they replace it with damage. So you do not get nitro for the Destruction Derby. It's kind of a bummer, but also kind of neat, I guess. And this is self-explanatory. You're just kind of running around ramming into people and trying to destroy them. Now, the one thing I'm noticing off the bat, though, after playing Wreckfest for so many years, and also, of course, FLATOUT 2 and Ultimate Carnage, it's very archaic to me that there's no way to see the other health of the other drivers. So you don't really know who's almost dead, who you should really be going for at the moment. Which obviously is more realistic. Maybe some people would prefer it this way, but for me, I like, it's more of a mini game, so I like having a health bar on vehicles to know who I should be going after, who I should stay away from, you know, etc. But man, you take a lot of damage really quickly in this too, which is not the case in the later entries. Because the Demolition Derby events end up being actually part of the main storyline in the next few games. And it makes sense, because they really want to showcase the destruction elements. I mean, look how much pieces and debris is falling off my vehicle, which is really impressive. I'm almost dead, dude. I'm already up. Oh my god. I just realized that. Can't believe I didn't die there. Oh, here we go. Yep. Man. It's tough. I forgot how hard this game is. If I was to put it in a ranking of like which game is the most difficult out of all the FLATOUT series, including Wreckfest, I gotta put FLATOUT 1 at the top. Let's try it one more time. I think we can do better this time. Oh yeah, there we go. Again, I wish I knew how much damage I was doing to these guys. It'd be such a helpful thing. But I guess it is what it is. One thing I didn't really talk about that I honestly should have at the beginning is the soundtrack in this game was extremely underrated. It was very underground, like very like grunge rock, kind of like even classic rock in here and stuff like that. It was bands that I never even heard of as a kid, and to this day, never really heard anybody talking about. But going back and listening to them again, I felt right back into place, and all the memories came flooding back of all the soundtrack in this game. And I like most of the tracks, honestly. They're pretty good. The one issue, though, with this game is that the soundtrack, even though there's multiple songs in the game, I think there's probably like 15 or so, they don't carry over, if that's the right word. So if you're in one race, it'll just keep repeating, nice, we got a kill, let's go. It'll keep repeating the same song over and over again until you restart the race or do a different one, which I find super weird, because PS2 was kind of the era where they started adding a lot of licensed soundtracks to games, but you could listen to it and kind of switch between them on the fly, like jukebox almost. Where in the PS1 era, those were the days where if we had licensed soundtracks, they were tied to one level basically, and you would only hear that one song. Kind of, again, archaic feeling, and it's just so weird coming back to this game and having so many things that feel like a no-brainer to me in the rest of the series, and having to kind of sort of quote-unquote deal with it for this one. Now, obviously, I don't have the music playing in this video. I have the music turned off because of copyright, but I can just tell you that the soundtrack in this game is killer, and highly recommend just checking it out for the soundtrack alone. We're definitely doing a lot better. There's a lot more people who are dead in that right now in the field. So there's me and 3 left. Ooh, I really thought that was going to be a kill. I probably should be going in reverse. I know, you know, having people hit your back doesn't do as much damage to the front, but I don't really care at this point. We're doing pretty good regardless. There you are. Oh, I'm almost dead. One more touch and I am out. And I'm in the final 3. Honestly, if I die, though, I won't be mad. Final 3 is still pretty good. Especially for second try. At least the AI actually... Oh, there we go. Final 2. At least the AI actually fight each other. I noticed in like FLATOUT 2, Ultimate Carnage, even in Wreckfest a little bit, the AI really hate you. They don't really go for anyone else. Damn. We failed, but hey, Final 2. I can't be that mad. Tina, or Tania, whatever the hell your name is, GG. So yeah, that is pretty much FLATOUT 1. There's not really a whole lot to go into. You have some quick races, time trials, or the career. The career has no story mode to begin with. That's the reason I did not go in it for this game. There's no story. It's just you pick a car, you spend money on it, you do the races, and then you get money to buy better cars and upgrade your current vehicle. There was a little bit of customization in this one with some colors and stuff, but otherwise not a whole lot you can change on the vehicles other than just getting upgrades for how the engine works and to make it a little bit stronger during the races itself. So all in all, a pretty bare bones experience, but still a classic to come back to and experience again after all these years. And if you've never played any of the FLATOUT games, you easily could just skip to FLATOUT 2 in my opinion, but I still would recommend coming back to this one just for the sheer fact that this was the pioneer of the FLATOUT series and what kind of kickstarted one of the greatest arcade racing series of games, in my opinion, of all time. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video of this Do You Remember? Make sure to leave a like, show your support as always, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'll always see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody. I'm good. Woo! Yes! Oh my god, that was perfect. All I can do now is suck him. Suck him! Yeah! Oh shit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't stop the suck. Get away from me. All I can do is suck. I'm sorry. You were health and then you weren't.